So it is official. PlayStation is on the dawn of a new-ish Horizon. It's Sunday, so let's get sensational. I'm Mike, and I'm back to talk about the gaming news. And this week, I'm germ-free. But you know what's not free? The upgrade for Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered. So last week, we talked about the rumored at the time remaster of Horizon Zero Dawn. This was found due to someone spotting the ESRB rating for it. But Sony, out of nowhere, was like, let's do the state of play, and then they officially announced it. So Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered is coming out on October 31st for PS5 and PC, and basically it looks a little bit better. They redid some of the motion capture, they have better textures, they also added support for 3D audio and the PS5 controller's haptic triggers. They also note that it'll have native support for PS5 Pro, meaning they'll get some additional enhancements on that console. The PC version is also getting trophy support, meaning that they're adding the PSN Account Requirement to the PC version of the game if you decide to get the new version. The PC version specifically is adding support for more monitors like ultra-wide and will support NVIDIA's DLSS 3 and AMD's FSR 3.1. Now, when it comes to the pricing, it's $50, and that includes the original version of the game and the remaster, or you can upgrade if you have the current PS4 or PC versions of the game for $10. So I don't think it's that bad of a deal, especially if you already have the game, to get a slightly better version of it for $10. As they calling it a remaster is a little bit of a stretch. It doesn't look that much better than the original version of the game for what I've seen of the footage so far. But while we're on the topic of the original version of the game, people that were hoping to get the digital version of the game and then pay for the upgrade, well, they can still do that. It's just that Sony decided to double the price of the original game. So the digital version of Horizon Zero Dawn was previously listed for $20 on the PlayStation Store, which makes sense considering it came out in 2017. But Sony quietly raised the price of it to $40, so that basically, if you buy the digital version of the game and pay for the upgrade, it ends up being the same price as just buying the new version. I mean, I'm pretty sure you could probably still find a disc version of the game for around $20 if you want to save some money. But yeah, I guess it makes sense for Sony to close that loophole, but it also feels weird for them to raise the price of a game, for 2017. But Zero Dawn wasn't the only Horizon game that leaked. The release date for Lego Horizon also leaked. This was one of the leaks that came from a page that Sony accidentally put up on their website too early and then quickly took down. Well, Sony finally went ahead and confirmed the release date, and it is indeed launching on PS5, PC, and Switch on November 14th, as the leak page showed. So yep, both the Horizon leaks ended up coming to fruition. But the leaks haven't been Sony's only issue recently. In fact, they've been inspirational, them and Ubisoft, but just not in a good way. So California is putting a new law on the books effective January 1st, 2025, Law AB 2624. Now this law has to do with buying digital content, and a while back we covered Sony removing Discovery content from their store, even for people who had already purchased it. They ended up striking a new deal with Discovery, so people didn't end up losing access to the content, but it was still a pretty bad look for Sony. Ubisoft also shut down the game The Crew around the same time and revoked licenses for it, meaning even the single-player portion of the game was unplayable, and again they removed it from people who already paid for it. Now this was due to the game still needing to be connected to servers for the single player to function, and Ubisoft was taking the servers offline. Well, both of these incidents were cited by Jackie Irwin, who sponsored this bill being passed in California. So this new law is basically going to make it so that any digital storefront that sells movies, books, or games can't use the term purchase or buy in relation to digital content. And they have to display a warning saying that the content could be revoked at any time. And this is true. I mean, anything that you purchase digitally could be revoked at any time, unless it's like a DRM-free version of a game. Other than that, it's pretty much like you're just paying to access the game as long as it's available. And this could be true even for disc-based games. Like we talked about The Crew earlier. I mean, if you have a copy of the disc, you can still install it, but it's not going to be playable because the servers are offline. Of course, this law is just in California, but it is a step in the right direction. Just like having a cheaper option for VR, like the Meta Quest 3S. So Meta had their Connect event, and yeah, they went ahead and announced the Quest 3S, which looks exactly like the picture from the leak a few weeks ago, which is continuing to be a trend for some reason. So the Quest 3S is their budget version of the Quest 3, and thankfully, unlike what the rumors were saying, it does come with controllers and it's retailing for $300. Now the compromises come in resolution, storage, and the field of view. The resolution is going to be 1832 by 1920 per eye, in comparison to 2064 by 2208 on the Quest 3. It's also going back to the Fresnel lenses that were used on the Quest 2 instead of the pancake lenses that were used on the Quest 3. It also has a smaller field of view, but Meta didn't specify how much smaller, and it ships with 128 gigs of storage, which for me would be enough. I never have more than a few games installed on my Quest anyway, and most games aren't that big, but it might be limiting depending on what you want to do with the headset. But despite all the drawbacks, there is one thing that's better about the Quest 3S than the Quest 3, it actually has better battery life. It's estimated to get 2.5 hours over the Quest 3's 2.2, which I'm guessing is probably just because it's running at a lower resolution, so at least there is 1 Pro over the regular Quest 3. Now, of course, with them releasing this new budget headset, there's not much reason for the Quest 2 to still be around, so they're finally going to be sunsetting the Quest 2 along with the Quest Pro by the end of the year. Basically, once they run out of both headsets, they're not going to be making anymore. The Quest Pro is weird because it was kind of overpriced for what it was, and it didn't really catch on even in the high-end VR space. Plus, the Quest 3 is most of the way there as far as the Quest Pro's features, so yeah, it makes sense for that they're getting rid of it. Either way, on paper, it doesn't sound like the compromises are too bad for an entry-level VR/AR headset. But if you want to play games in a more traditional way, like on a PC or maybe even a handheld PC, alright, look, it's just another leak, alright? I was trying to do a smooth transition. It's a leak. It feels like this happens every quarter with handheld PCs. Like, they leak, and then there's almost an imminent reveal like a month later. So this time it's Lenovo. Lenovo launched the Legion Go late last year. It's basically the handheld PC with detachable controllers, akin to something like the Nintendo Switch. It launched shortly after the ROG Ally and runs the same Z1 Extreme chip, and with ROG recently releasing the ROG Ally X, it's not really a surprise that Lenovo is working on their next-gen handheld too. And like some of our stories earlier, some of the information was leaked on their own website. So the initial leak was last month. There was some text on the Legion Go's page that mentioned the Go Gen 2 and the Legion Go Lite. Well, now pictures have been leaked by YouTube channel Nitrix, and it's basically the shell for the Legion Go Lite. Now, there's no specs that have leaked, but basically it looks like a more round version of the ROG Ally. It's presumably going to have a 7-inch screen as well. So this is basically them just doing a standard size handheld, because the Legion Go is kind of a little bit huge. So the original Legion Go launched in October of last year, so I wouldn't be surprised if we hear about the Go 2 and the Go Lite fairly soon. But there could be another handheld on the horizon, and possibly from Microsoft. And that's what we're talking about today. And our final story. So earlier this year on the Xbox podcast, Microsoft mentioned that the next Xbox would be the biggest technological leap in a hardware generation, so obviously they're working on the next Xbox. Now, whether or not that claim will actually be true or not is yet to be seen. But we have the first rumors about what Microsoft may be doing for the next generation. So this is being reported by Windows Central, but basically, instead of Microsoft doing a Series X and a Series S like this generation, the rumor is that they may be doing a follow-up to the Series X and a handheld instead of the cheaper version of the console. Now, there are no details about what this handheld would look like, but I mentioned previously I could see them doing a streaming-only handheld, especially with them pushing cloud gaming so much. Now, personally, if they do this, I would like a traditional handheld that runs games natively with a dock option to connect it to a TV, so it'll be a full replacement for the Series S. Now, if they do this as a streaming-only handheld, I don't feel like it would be the best move. Of course, this is just a rumor, but it would be a big shift if they did a handheld. They're the only one out of the 3 console makers that have never made a handheld before, so it'd be interesting to see their take on it. But let me know what you think in the comments. Would you rather have an Xbox handheld next generation, or would you rather just have a cheaper Xbox like a Series S again? Again, let me know down below. And if you enjoyed this video, then make sure to tell a friend, tell a coworker, like, share, and subscribe, and hit that bell notification button thing, wherever it is, to be notified when I drop a video or a live stream. And I always do at least 2 things at the same time. Peace.